I think that most people in the horse training world have not heard the term combined reinforcement because I didn't hear it until this past spring when I was finishing up my equine behavior course for my equine science certificate, and they brought up the term combined reinforcement, and I was like, I'd never heard of it. And once I learned what it was and I was reading about it, I realized that the vast majority of the time in horse training, when those of us that use positive reinforcement say that we're training with positive reinforcement, really what we're doing is we're training with combined reinforcement. Because while there are times when we are doing things like target training where we wait for them to learn to, reach out to the target and then we click and reward, things like that, where that is purely just positive reinforcement, a lot of the time we use positive reinforcement to teach our horse how to respond to pressure cues, right? Like if we're teaching them how to do flexion, right? Like to give to rein pressure, we, say we lightly pull the rein to the left, the horse gives to the pressure, we release, we click and we reward. And a lot of us label that as positive reinforcement, but technically it's combined reinforcement because the pressure and the release was the negative reinforcement, and we're using the positive reinforcement to reinforce the response to the negative reinforcement. So really a lot of the time what we're doing is we're training with combined reinforcement, but we label it as positive reinforcement. And so a lot of positive reinforcement trainers are actually doing more so combined reinforcement than just positive reinforcement. And I think for those of us that are, educated in equine behavior and learning theory, it's not really as important of a distinction to make. But I think that for the majority of the equine industry and all of the people who are very against positive reinforcement, I think that it is important that we make a distinction there, because I think one reason as to why some people are so against positive reinforcement, sorry, it's late and I can't talk, positive reinforcement, is because they think it's like we just wait for them to do the right thing and reward them. And that's some of what we do, but it's not a lot of what, like, a lot of the time for me, like, there are very few things where I just wait for my horse to do the thing and reward. I am more of a guide them to the thing and then reward them, because it allows for less confusion and less frustration. And that's not necessarily the right course of action for every horse, but it is for mine. But yeah, I think that in general we should use the term combined reinforcement more, because it's really a more accurate representation of what we're doing a lot of the time. And again, obviously there are things that we do that are just positive reinforcement, but a lot of the time I think we're doing combined reinforcement, and I think that it's good for us to label it as what it is. But